What's up, guys? So let's talk about the VGX awards. No, don't do it. Just don't. Why is it so hard to do an award show for gaming? I don't get it. I mean, this is supposed to, this is a big one. The VGAs is pretty big. The VGX was supposed to be pretty big. And it represents gaming. It represents gamers. I mean, that's what they say on their website. I don't know what the media thinks about gamers, but it's so wrong. Like, they're so off in what they think we like. Oh my god. I seriously was expecting something so much cooler. I mean, this is obviously all based on opinion. I mean, some of you might have loved it. I don't think it was a majority because of what I've seen and I've been reading online. Before I get into this, let me first show you guys the winners. Okay, first of all, on the website of the VGX, it said that, it clearly said, everywhere they were announcing it, it said that it was going to start at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern. So I was like, you know what, let's do this live, like I did last year with the VGAs, which was so much fun last year, watching it with you guys. So we were all watching it. Scottish Warrior 92, Ability Drain, Alex the Hunted, and Lady Insanity was awesome enough to join us. And it was so much fun being all together and watching it. But here's my spiel. It said it was going to start at 3. So I was like, all right, we'll go on, maybe 10 minutes before. I was a little late because I had things that I had to be doing. So I had to be coming and going throughout the stream, which I felt bad, but there was nothing I could do about it. Everyone was on a little bit early. And they had already announced a bunch of winners. They had already given awards. I mean, they didn't even give awards out. They had announced them already. I was like, what happened? What happened to soundtrack of the year? What happened to best voice actress? What happened to best voice actor? They had given the awards before they said that the award show was going to start. If you're going to start at 1 or 2, I don't even know what time it started. If you're going to start before, why don't you just say, we're going to start at this time, it's going to be a pre-show. No, it's just like, we're going to start the award show at 3 o'clock. No, you're not. At 3 o'clock, the host comes on, which was this guy that I had no idea who he was. People were telling me his name is Joel, and he's from E. Everyone on the stream, we had over 100 people watching us, which, thank you so much, that was really cool. There was over 100 people watching us, and everybody, almost everybody, I couldn't constantly be looking at the chat, but almost everybody was fed up with this guy. His jokes sucked. He kept on bashing on everything. He kept on bashing on games. He kept on bashing on devs. He kept on bashing on the other guy that he was talking with. On gamers, on everything. And I'm like, why did the VGX think that we wanted to see this? I think that the media or these people that put these award shows together, I think they have this vision of gamers being that select few of people that bash on people on multiplayer. Like, oh noob, you suck, and always make fun of everybody and all that. I think that's what they think all gamers are like. Because every award show has that. Bashing on nerds, bashing on gamers, bashing on everything. And I'm like, oh my god. I mean, skits that make fun of things, that's funny. Where it's like, oh, that was hilarious. But constantly, come on. Like, some of these things could have been really cool. Like, they actually went and they were talking to the devs, interviewing them. That Joel guy, that he kept, it was, people were even saying in the chat, they were like, this award show feels so awkward. Because you could tell in the faces of the devs that they felt so uncomfortable, or that they felt like they didn't like this guy. You could totally tell. And even his co-host, every now and he would be like, is there anything you like? He's like, you're just being negative. I don't get why they put these hosts. I mean, it was different from the VGAs. Yeah, it was different. But you know what? Honestly, in all honesty, I enjoyed the VGAs last year more than I enjoyed the VGX this year. At least the VGAs last year were a little bit more entertaining. Just a little bit. I mean, I'm not talking about like a Hollywood award show. That's not what I want. But, I mean, at least have like an audience there. Be like, yeah, you know, rooting for whatever dev or rooting for whatever game. But no, it's just like some little room. With these two people there announcing, and every time they would announce an award, it wasn't like these are the nominees or whatever, and then it was like, and so won. It's like, oh no, sometimes it was like so confusing where they'd be like, game of the year, show Last of Us, like a little clip of it, and I'd be like, did Last of Us win? Or what is this? This award show shouldn't... This show shouldn't have been this long. It was over 3 hours. A lot of times it just felt like they were killing time. And I'm like, oh my god. I was so disappointed. I mean, Nintendo goes on there. Reggie from Nintendo goes on there. And he starts talking. I mean, okay, yeah, cool. I love Nintendo, yeah. You know, Nintendo has been in a lot of gamers' pasts. It's hard not to feel some kind of like, oh, it's Nintendo. But they showed off. They were like, oh, it's a world premiere or whatever. And they showed this Donkey Kong game. I'm like, okay, whatever. They were playing that Donkey Kong game for, I don't even know how long it was, man. They had world premieres, which was cool. That's what I was really looking forward to, the world premieres. I'm not going to show you guys the world premieres on here because I'm really risking copyright if I do that, especially since the VGX were just yesterday. So I'm just going to put the links in the description with all the trailers, the world premieres of these. Well, how many were there? 13, I think. They were saying there were 13 world premieres. 2 of them were Titanfall. And, I mean, props to Titanfall, looks awesome. But 2 of the world premieres were showing off new mechs for Titanfall. One of them was the Strider, and the other one was the Ogre. And we were just like, alright. I mean, Lady Insanity is really, really looking forward to Titanfall, so that's cool. I mean, it looks cool. Put a mech in any game, and it's like, it looks so awesome. Why didn't they just put both mechs in one world premiere? You know what I mean? Like, it was just one thing after the other. Like, Nintendo for a bunch of, like, this huge long time. And then they move away from Nintendo. And then later they go back to the same game, Donkey Kong. And I'm like... And then they go into Titanfall. World premiere, Titanfall. This mech. And then later, world premiere, Titanfall. This mech. And I'm like... Oh my god. I was really excited about the Grand Theft Auto 5 little showing that they were going to have of playing the music live. I would have been cool if they played like 2 of the main songs. Like the song from the trailer, they played that song. That was cool. I don't know. I was just so bored with it. I walked off so many times and I came back and they were doing the same thing. I was like, I'll be right back. The world premieres that I was really excited about and really interested in. The first one obviously is The Witcher 3. That was so cool to see. It's like a pretty short trailer, but oh my god, the quality of it is absolutely gorgeous. This game looks so impressive. We have Ability Drain and SkyShore92 put up our live reaction while we were watching The Witcher 3, and it's pretty funny, especially Lady Insanity. Her reaction to it was just absolutely hilarious. But yeah, go watch it. I'll put the link in the description so you guys could see that. check it out because it's so funny. I will go into detail later on about that, about the Witcher 3 trailer. So I'm not going to talk too much about that right now because I want to talk more about the rest of the show. Another world premiere that absolutely blew me away, where a lot of people were saying, where did this game come from? It just came out of nowhere, and everyone was like, oh my god, this looks so cool. It's called No Man's Sky, and it looks like, I'm getting the feeling that it's going to be something like Starbound, but with good graphics, where you get to just explore the universe. And they were saying that, you know, those faraway stars that you see, it's a sci-fi, so when you see this faraway star, you can actually go there and explore the place. And it shows someone like driving or riding around in their starship, and I'm like, it was so impressive, not only because it looked amazing and the idea is just so cool. I mean, it's not a new idea, but every other idea that I've seen similar to it is usually, you know, kind of pixely, like Starbound. It seems like it's Starbound, but with, you know, updated graphics, like graphics now, like amazing graphics where you're like, oh my god, that looks so real. Obviously, games like Starbound, that is a huge appeal. It looking the way it looks, it's just this uniqueness. But it would be really interesting to play a game with that type of concept of exploring the galaxy, and exploring planets and everything. That concept, and seeing it or experiencing it with these types of graphics, especially when you're talking about space and space travel. Could you imagine how beautiful some of these sceneries could be? But the most impressive thing about this game is that the developer, I can't remember the name of the developer, but I'll put it here. It's just 4 people, and they're making this game. I was like, wow. So yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on that game. You guys should check it out because it just looks so good. They showed a new trailer for Destiny, which looked very much like Mass Effect. That's what we were saying in the stream. We were like, that looks like Mass Effect. I mean, one of the characters already looks like a Quarian. Another one, I was like, that looks kind of like a Vorcha from far away. I got the feeling of like Mass Effect multiplayer, which is not a bad thing. I mean, Destiny does look like a gorgeous game. I don't think it's my type of game, just because of the way the mechanics of it, the gameplay of it. I might try it, but I think I would wait first. I would want to see more of it before I actually bought it. They had a world premiere for Tomb Raider, the Definitive Edition, which is the Tomb Raider game that just recently came out for next gen. And then they had Tom Clancy's Division. It wasn't an actual trailer, it was more of like a tech trailer where they're showing off the graphics of the game, where they're saying, you know, you can now shoot the tires on a car. You can now shoot the little mirror on a car. And look, you could make little holes here and there. And it's like, you know, and you're just like, ooh, that looks nice. I haven't actually looked up any information on the Division, so I don't know exactly what it is. I'm guessing it is Tom Clancy, so I'm guessing it's going to be something similar to Splinter Cell, something like that. That kind of like, I don't know, Spec Ops type of feeling. They showed some more footage, some gameplay of Quantum Break, which is, in all honesty, the only game so far right now that interests me for the Xbox One. The Xbox One doesn't have any games that really make me go, oh my god, I want an Xbox One. This is pretty much the only game that I would really like to try out, that I would really like to play. It is Remedy, so they're the makers of Alan Wake, so that's another reason, because I really like Remedy. I like the way their story, the way that they tell a story. The concept is very interesting, really new, and kind of weird at the same time. I don't know how I would actually feel about playing a game like this, because it's this very cinematic type of gameplay, type of game, mixed with an actual show. I'm also going to be making a video about Quantum Break. I'm going to be looking at all the information I could find on Quantum Break because it does interest me. It is, like I said, the only title so far on the Xbox One that really makes me go, that would be cool to play, because I really am intrigued. But the only thing that holds me back is this new concept. I don't know if I would enjoy it, especially when it has to do with like a show, and you know, I don't know how they're gonna do it. Is the show gonna be interactive? Two other world premieres that got me really excited. One of them I missed because it was in the pre-show. Whatever. I mean, it's actually surprising because this developer, it's like, man, these guys just went whoosh, they just skyrocketed in no time. And that's awesome. I mean, mass respect for that, and they definitely deserve that point that they are right now, that they're doing so well. Their way of telling a story is just, it's improved so much after The Walking Dead. And I'm obviously talking about Telltale. And I had heard rumors about this, but there was a world premiere for Telltale and Game of Thrones. Oh my god. Oh my freaking god. It's like a match made in heaven. And then another world premiere for Telltale was a Borderlands spin-off, which I was like, what? So Telltale really has a great lineup of games coming. And I'm super excited for what Telltale has in store. For South Park, The Stick of Truth. It's not a game that I'm not a big South Park fan. I need to see more about it. I don't know that much about this game. They also showed off a very interesting game called Broken Age, and some people were telling me in the chat and in the stream that it was actually a Kickstarter. And I was like, well, good for them that they made it on the VGX, you know? It shows how far they've come, which is awesome. I always like to see that. And another cool thing is that the main character is voiced by Elijah Wood. We were like, oh my god, we love that guy. He's so cool. And, I mean, even Jack Black is doing a voice. It just, the concept of it looks really interesting, and I definitely want to check it out. I want to know more about it because I don't know that much about it right now. But it looks like something I would want to check out. And they also showed a world premiere, and they also talked a little bit about Thief, which is another title that I've been interested in since early this year. I did check it out a little bit at E3. They didn't have much on it. I don't know that much about Thief. I didn't play the previous one. I don't know, but it looks interesting. Lady Insanity and I were saying it looks similar, like the feel, the look of it looks like Dishonored. I don't know. It is a game that has interested me, and it was nice to finally see like a trailer to get a better look at it. But we won't know until we actually see more gameplay of it and all that stuff. That's pretty much it for the world premieres. So there were some good things when it came to the world premieres. That was probably my favorite thing about the VGX. When it comes to the awards, I mean, this is obviously opinion-based. I'm just going to mention a few that I have some thoughts on. Some of them I had predicted correctly on the log blog, on the articles that I was writing. And some of them were off. Game of the Year, I have mixed feelings about this because I love Grand Theft Auto 5. But I feel, again, in my opinion, I feel like The Last of Us maybe deserved it more than Grand Theft Auto 5 because I'm judging the story and the emotion and just the depth of it. Grand Theft Auto 5 definitely did deserve recognition because it is a huge game and the detail and all that. But I felt like it should have been commemorated Like the studio should have been commemorated more for that. That's why I wanted Rockstar to win Studio of the Year, because of the effort, because of all the work they put into that game. I think Rockstar deserved that win, but Naughty Dog won it. I think things, though, that was backwards. I think Last of Us should have taken Game of the Year, and Rockstar should have taken Studio of the Year. Best soundtrack, I really disagree with this one, because GTA 5 won Best Soundtrack, and I think I actually mentioned this in my article that I wrote, that I think people were going to be thinking more about those songs on the radio than the actual soundtrack. The original soundtrack is what the composer created for the game, and at least that's how I see it. The third-party music, and it's the same thing for BioShock Infinite. I mean, some of those tunes that you hear playing are amazing and make the game so great, and they make it so unique. It's like a trademark for BioShock. But I feel like that shouldn't be what is taken into consideration when thinking of best soundtrack. And I think that's more of what people were thinking about in GTA 5, because I feel like GTA 5 was very lacking in its soundtrack. I was talking to everyone else that I was watching the stream with yesterday, and I was telling them GTA 5 kind of was missing a title song. When you would load the game up, in the previous Grand Theft Auto games, like especially Grand Theft Auto 4, that had a memorable title song. I mean, every time you load it, I loved loading Grand Theft Auto 4 because it had that amazing song. Even Lost in the Damned, even Ballad of Gay Tony, they all of it, except for Grand Theft Auto 5, it was just like, it was almost silence. It was just these little noises, and I was like, that's weird. That kind of caught me off guard for a Grand Theft Auto game. I mean, some songs were good. It did make some of the action scenes good, and like, oh, this is so awesome, but nowhere near the power and the emotion and the intensity of, say, BioShock Infinite and Last of Us. Last of Us was all creativity. I mean, it was amazing that Last of Us could get so much emotion out of the character, so much feeling, create so much ambience, so much atmosphere, just with one instrument most of the time, an acoustic guitar. That's hard. That is not easy to do, especially for the caliber of Last of Us, for the caliber of that story, for the emotion for that story, and only have almost always, I mean, there were more, but it was almost always just one instrument. That was my vote, the Last of Us soundtrack. It was hard for me to decide because I thought BioShock Infinite had an amazing soundtrack. It made some of those scenes intense. It made some of those scenes like, oh my god, the Songbird song during that escape scene. Oh my god, that is one of my favorite songs in a soundtrack. It's just so good. It literally made that was the turning point for me. That was the moment where I was like, this game, I'm gonna love this game. Because it was so intense. It made me, oh my god, this is so cool. It was just so good. I'm really surprised. I don't know if I should be surprised, given the representation of the VGX, but I was surprised that GTA 5 took that. Like I said, Studio of the Year went to Naughty Dog, which is very, very much which I think is very deserving, because they did an amazing job on Last of Us. But I would have loved to see that recognition, that award, go to Rockstar, because I think Rockstar put more effort, more time, because they did put more time. They had been working on that game for so long, and the size of the game, there is no comparison between the size of Last of Us and the size of Grand Theft Auto 5. The size of that game and the detail, oh my god. they pretty much replicated Los Angeles. I mean, replicated it. I live in Southern California, and it was surreal. It was so surreal for me to be driving around Los Santos and being like, I've seen these places. I know what place that is. I know what store that is. It was an open world above land, and it was an open world below land. It was underwater. It was just as gorgeous. The detail on the characters' faces. And there were small details that didn't really have to be there. It wasn't like they needed to be there. The motion capture, oh my God. They brought those characters to life. They did such a great job on that game, which is a shame that Rockstar didn't get that win. Sure, Grand Theft Auto 5 won Game of the Year, but Rockstar deserved it. They were the ones that deserved to be in the limelight. Rockstar. They kind of are with Game of the Year, but I feel like actually awarding the studio, telling them you guys did an amazing job on this game. Like the work you put into it, not the game itself. The work you put into it. The detail you put into it. The dedication. The time. I think Rockstar should have taken it. Best voice actor went to obviously Troy Baker. This guy needed to win something. I mean, the work he's done just in this past year has been mind-blowing. And he's done such a great job on everything he picks up. He has literally become like a trademark voice actor in gaming with what he's done this year. I'm happy that he took an award. He took it for Joel because he was nominated for 2. He was nominated for Booker DeWitt and Joel. But I kind of would have wanted to see Stephen Ogg win just because kind of the same idea of Game of the Year or Studio of the Year, you know, what it represents. Trevor Phillips was nominated for Character of the Year. I didn't think Trevor Phillips, I mean, I love Trevor, but I think the recognition should have gone to the actor for that character. Because Stephen Ogg made that character. Stephen Ogg sold that character. He brought that character to life. And I know for a fact that that is not easy what he did. Because I know that Stephen Ogg is a method actor. And when you're a method actor and you're trying to bring to life a crazy person, this person like Trevor that does these messed up stuff and it just loses it every now and then, and you actually want it to be real, you actually want people to believe it. It's a little bit easier to play somebody that is absolutely nuts, you know, in a loony bin. That's a little bit easier. But someone like Trevor, that's like distorted, that has these mental issues, these personal issues so big that they've just affected the way that he is. They've just created him into this person that will kill somebody out of rage is not easy to do, especially for a method actor, because method actors, they want to become that character. They become that person. They've made jokes about this in interviews and all that Stephen Ogg would come to set in his underwear or something like that. And he would act in his underwear because Trevor would do that. That's a method actor. I think the recognition should have been for Stephen Ogg, even though Troy Baker did such an amazing job. And I love him so much. I literally adore this guy. And I always said this guy needs an award because of everything that he's done. But that's taking everything into consideration. People are like, Troy Baker needs to win because he did an amazing job with Joker. And I'm like, Joker wasn't nominated. We're not talking about Joker here. We're talking about Joel and Booker DeWitt, which were great roles that he did. But when you think about the role that Stephen Ogg did with a character like Trevor, that does not compare with a character like Joel or Booker. That is a little bit easier to do. Joel, there was motion capture. Troy Baker did do the motion capture. He did have an accent, which he sold that accent, which was like perfect. And he did have so many emotional scenes that were just they were spot on. It's hard for it to be believable, yeah, but nowhere near the intensity or the difficulty of portraying a character like Trevor. I know this out of experience. I've actually done method acting, and it takes so much time. It's so much time, so much effort, so much dedication, so much passion that goes into it, that I could just imagine how hard Stephen Ogg must have had to focus and really practice and just meld into that character. It must have been so hard. So I think Stephen Ogg should have taken it, but you know, congratulations to Troy Baker, because he definitely does deserve some recognition for everything he's done this year. And obviously for his role as Joel, because he did do a great job. Best shooter, BioShock Infinite. That game deserved some award, and it won Best Shooter. Best Shooter? Okay, BioShock Infinite is technically a shooter, but going up against actual shooters, going up against Call of Duty, going up against these games that are actual shooters, these games that developers actually put effort into those guns feeling and sounding like they're real, and BioShock Infinite wins Best Shooter. I found it hilarious when it won, and I was like, really? And then they did the acceptance speech for Irrational Games, and everyone in Irrational Games, I think it was a joke. I think it was a joke that Irrational Games was even surprised that they won Best Shooter. They were like they didn't know what to say. Like, they were confused or something. Like, they were, can we start over? Like, they didn't know what to say. Because, I mean, it's nice to see BioShock Infinite getting an award, but the shooter aspects in BioShock Infinite aren't that great. I mean, it's not really about that. It's not really about the guns. The game isn't really about the guns. It's more about the vigors and all this stuff and the story. I mean, when someone thinks of shooters, is the first game that comes to mind BioShock Infinite? Dude, what do you think is the best shooter this year? BioShock Infinite, man. Faux show. Best voice actress, Ashley Johnson, that did Ellie. I voted for her, so I'm glad that she won. I think she did a great job, especially because she was playing a younger girl, and she totally sold it. And the emotion scenes between her and Joel and is just really good. I'm glad that she won. Character of the Year, the Lutece twins from BioShock Infinite. I love the Lutesses, so I was pretty happy about this. I think I had voted for Trevor. I can't remember the other nominee, but I think I had voted for Trevor because I think he was a very well-written character. Because I feel like he was a very intense, very real, very believable character. Even though he was so out there, where people are like, whoa, that's too much. You either love Trevor or you don't. But I think aside from that, aside from whether you like him or not, you just can't deny that he was very well written. The Lutesses were a fun duo of characters. I always loved listening to what they were saying. So it's cool that they won. I can't really complain about that. I would have liked to see Trevor win, but like I said, it's not easy to portray or write a character like Trevor. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I'm pretty much done with these award shows. Some people have told me about other ones online. Like, some people were like, I don't even watch those. I prefer these. I forgot what they were though. Let me know in the description about other gaming awards. Because I really don't know of other ones. But I would love to watch or read or anything, something aside from this, because they always they ruin it. In my opinion, it was so bad. I didn't like it. It was boring. It was fun, being streaming and all that, and seeing people on the chat and all that. That was cool. I did have like a massive headache at that time, and I was running back and forth. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. It's okay to disagree with me. It's okay. Like I said, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying that my opinion is right. I'm not saying that this is exactly what should have happened. Obviously not. I'm just sharing my thoughts about the VGX, about the winners, about the world premieres and all that stuff. So let me know what you guys thought. Let me know how you felt about it. Your votes, who you think should have won, or are you happy with the winners? Make sure to check out the videos in the description, because a lot of those world premieres were pretty cool to see. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.